What is going on? RuneScape.com. It is your boy, John McGarrett, and we are here with another tier list. This tier list is going to be about iron items, which I know, this doesn't seem to be very popular like the bronze one, but these do have nuances, I feel, are worth talking about, and kind of interesting and fun to make into a tier list. So buckle up. We're going to run it down, all right? So from the flipping perspective, this is from a flipping perspective, collector's perspective, my perspective. This is my tier list, and we're going to talk about why iron items are awesome. Just off the rip, is mostly collector value. A lot of these iron items, especially for free-to-play, are not going to be super interesting for like closed cycle loops, especially in the free-to-play. Did I say that? The free-to-play, what is the word? The free-to-play circle, sphere. You know what I'm saying? Sphere of Chaos from Yu-Gi-Oh! If anybody plays Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere of Chaos in the Odyssey format just got dropped at the RBET. That's neither here nor there, though, so I'm sorry. ADHD. Got a vibe with it. So let's run it down, though. Collector value, though. Iron items I found are really good to purchase. They're fast. They're easy. They are hot sauce for getting your hands on. But in the free-to-play world, a lot of these don't really sell back to the GE very much. People aren't necessarily buying a lot of these, except for a few niche choices. So that's kind of the overview of the iron items, and let's hop right in. So the iron two-handed sword is kind of a C tier in terms of like in our vacuum here for iron items. It is C tier. You can purchase it very quickly. It's okay for collecting, but it's not really good for resale, and nobody's really buying it. So like on RuneScape 3, for instance, you'd be buying iron two-handed swords because they'd be your best melee weapon, because the combat system for that is good, but that is not the case for the old school RuneScape.com. So next item up is going to be your poison arrows, and again, if you ever saw my bronze arrow explanation, bronze poisoned items explanation, is just this is locked to members. I think would be a really cool mechanic for it to enter into free to play. It would make combat a little bit more interesting, but you know, they're not really gonna. They don't show free to play love. I mean, it's just a funnel to get you to pay for membership and stuff like that, and to keep you just kind of addicted. Like my theory around free to play is like. One, it's just, I don't know. Okay, so the main theory around why I think free-to-play even exists is just like, so when you lose your membership, you still have a way to get on and then remind you of what you don't have. Just there to show you that the other is better. And just like, part of me kind of like wonders if Jagex allows free-to-play to exist so that botters can kind of like, and this is completely conspiratorial, so whatever, real quick on this tangent, this theory, is that Jagex is allowing it to happen so that botters can provide a lot of like items to the economy and keep items cheap. But that's just my theory. But like, you know, the main idea for free to play is it's to funnel you into paying for membership and just keep you playing even if your memberships ran out. So whatever, you know what I'm saying? But there ain't no love. It'd be kind of cool, but there ain't no love. So poison items not good for members because it's not worth the slot. You can get some sales. You can probably sell 1 or 2, whatever, or 10 or whatever the frick you're gonna get for a few thousand. Probably make a huge profit there, but there's just not gonna be a lot of poison. Unless I'm wrong, remind me down in the comments down below why I'm dumb. So anyway, iron arrows I'm gonna put up in the S tier for free to play especially. Iron arrows are one of those items you're gonna use for training. You know, free to players are gonna use this, and you're gonna use this low level in you know, members. It is a good niche. 5 for 7, sell for 8, I think it is right now, or 8, 9, whatever. Super high volume, 7,000 buy limits. You can get like, what is that? 7 times 6, that's 42,000 GP a day up to, but you know, you make anywhere from 7,000 to like 30,000 just on that slot per day, per account, whatever. So it scales up really well. And then iron arrows tips are going to be really good because they're going to be your low level fletching item. So you know what I mean? Low level fletching item, high value for it. Smithing training, very AFK. High volume, decent margin there. I don't really want to look it up right now, but I'm sure you can get 2 to 5 for it. So, and it's probably a higher volume than most items, especially iron items. And the buy limits, I'm pretty sure, are higher on this one. So, iron axes, I'm not 100% sure, because bronze, I know a lot of people collect bronze tools. This has a low buy limit, like yesterday, but I'm not 100% sure if people are into iron items as much as they are for bronze items and other items like that. So this is kind of an A tier because it is a low buy item or buy limit. So then it makes it better for collectors because it's harder to get because it's, you know, buy limit gated. Iron bars, you're going to be S tier obviously here. There's going to be highs and lows you can purchase and invest into iron bars that people are just, you know, there's just, each of these things have cycles where they, you know, they fall in demand, with a huge supply, so they will just eventually like swoop. And if it's near an all-time low or a low, all-time low, 1 year low, 3 month low, 1 month low, are all going to be different times to buy this and then hold on to it. You can buy massive amounts of them because they have a high buy limit, and you can hold them and then like chuck them back into the system once it hits that cycle. Just it is what it is. So C tier for Iron Battle Axe. It buys very easily. People do not sell it. There's not a lot of uses in game for it, so there's just not a high demand for it. Again, outside of collector, it's not very good. So poison, iron bolts, same reasoning as arrows, same thing. But the iron bolts are going to be decent. I don't know how strong they are in comparison to bronze bolts and stuff, but this is an iron world, so I should just be talking about that. But they do pretty good. 7,000 buy limit, 1 GP margin should be kind of safe. I will put that unfinished bolts up here as well because they are low level fletching training, so they will always come in as, you know, new accounts are constantly coming into the game. Whatever, you know, it's not the best, it's not the worst, but you should be able to get like 2 to 5 GP margin on these every once in a while. Brutal iron arrows are going to suck. Same with the claws. They're just not very high in demand, and they're not very good. They're not very good. Iron crossbow. I feel like this could be a decent collector's item. You're going to have a low level range. Not really using this, but maybe, who knows. Crossbow unstrung is not going to be very good. Maybe it has a fletching use, so I'll chuck it up for C just to give it throw it a bone. Iron boots, probably not the worst, probably not the best. Probably should look into these items. I'll look up these boots after this item specifically when I do steel, black, and all that different type of stuff and see if they do have use. I know these, like, as you level them up, they become like strength bonus melee gear with some nice stats on them. Rune boots being like the more useful one. So maybe this has some sort of use. But we'll just put it up there just because it is a member's item, so it is going to be a little bit better. Iron chain body is really easy to get. Not very good for resale, but they are really easy to get, so collector value. So bronze or iron daggers here are not going to be very good. Again, same reasoning as that before. Sorry if I'm talking really fast. I'm just trying to speed run this because there is a lot of items, a lot of things to talk about. So iron daggers, I feel, are going to be S tier, top of the S tier for collectors. So I will put it behind bar though, because this is going to be a hot sauce collector item, but it's not going to be super good in terms of like being able to use the GE just to profit off this item in general. So like again, so iron arrows, iron arrowheads. Iron arrowheads may not be the best thing to buy for flipping in a member's perspective, so like there's a lot better things to buy, but in terms of iron arrow or iron items, this is going to be really good. Just want to make that caveat clear here. But these are going to be really good. The power of these is RuneScape free-to-play alts to flip on. So that's what I'm saying here with iron arrow and iron bar. Iron daggers especially too. You can collect them and sell them to collectors for a lot of money over a long period of time. They're really passive to buy, you know what I mean? You just log in once a week. The labor is almost nothing. Whatever time it takes to open up an account and log into it is the labor you need to maintain a flipping account that would be purchasing iron daggers. It is super cheap. So iron darts are going to be really high tier too. I should probably put them in the front just because out of all of these for a member's account, iron darts you can still get. They're really people will use these because they start range training with iron darts at the crabs. So they will be bought and sold quite frequently. Nobody really cares about the margin on them, so that's where you can get like maybe 2 to 3 spread, and these are going to be a little bit more common than the rest of them. Iron dart poisons are not going to be very good. So iron dart tips, especially too, they're going to be S tier as well. Like a lot of these, you know, iron is easy to use. You know, that entry level members item is a niche in the economy where you can make a lot of money, and it's not so. It's rare enough where it's not like so fixated like on one item GP margins, but it is common enough that you can still get some decent margins on them. All right, so we got the rune full helm here. That's kind of B, you know, like a lot of these rune items, they're not rune items, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Iron items, we can buy and sell on the GE kind of okay. It's just like, a lot of the stuff, the only things that you're really going to sell are going to be like melee training gear. So like the iron full helm is going to be there. I think shade bodies will sell too because the crush defense, so it's like good versus crabs, like on pures and stuff, I'm pretty sure that's a thing, but whatever. So the gold armor, again, I'm just going to put all this together here. You can like put them together to make a set, and that's kind of a thing for iron as well. You know, Fashionscape kind of does that. Then but just don't expect to make a lot of money. But this is something you could try out, experiment with. I would say it's B. Like I won't say it sucks because I haven't experimented with it myself. I'm not going to say that it's like super good either. So it is probably middle of the road, like an alternate style of free-to-play trader that you could have to like make a little bit extra GP. That's not like if you're not feeling the the standard stuff that I say, which is like high volume elemental runes and stuff like that. So the dragon mask is probably butt. Yeah. So now we have the trim, which is also not as popular. This doesn't even look like it's super cosmetic in comparison to the gold as well. So I don't know. I don't think it's very good for a cosmetic item to begin with. But, these things will always have collector value, too. You never know. But, like, in terms of ease of selling and stuff like that, it's just not going to be very good. So we have the Hosta. Iron Hosta, not going to be very good. Even the poison variants themselves. So I didn't look up javelins, because the bronze javelin, if anybody watched that other episode, we have like a store you can buy it from the ranging guild, and you can make a profit of that on the exchange. So let's just put it in B just to be safe here. Like it is better than all of this because if there is a store and you can buy it and sell it on the G for more of a profit, you could do like some, that bot method where you kind of like, not botting, but I'm saying like a bot style method, some of that stuff that like, whatever. It's a way to make some money or something like that. Maybe there's like some sort of arbitrage from the range store and then selling it to like an elk store or something like that from the wild. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. Iron Halberd's going to be kind of butt. The two-headed axe is going to be super butt. These are poison variants of the javelin. It's just the tips are cut off. The poison variants of... I'm just going to put them all down there right now. They're all going to be not very good for items to choose. I think I got them all here. Whatever. So, all right. Iron Kite Shields are going to be at the high end of B. Well, actually, let's say here. Okay, the metal, like these are going to be melee trading gear. Noobs are going to pick it up because, iron sets and stuff like that. So it's going to be good. Thinking here. The Javelin heads are probably not going to be very good, but they're probably not going to be horrible, so I'll put them in the C. We got the Kite Trim. Not very good. Like I said, if anybody knows anything about like specific picks here, just feel free to correct me down below. Iron Ore, I'm going to put up an S tier. Probably not the highest, but it's going to be... Actually, this is going to be probably pretty good because this is going to be tied to the steel plate body elk price. So if you can figure out the math there and then time it lower, it's going to be another way for you to access elking. The elk profits, like another way for you to access steel plate bodies without having to be limited by the steel plate body buy limit. I've talked about this in other tier lists. I'll just explain it again if this is your first tier list of mine you're watching. So, like, the alchable market is like one of the best markets for traders to get into because it's so stable. It's tied to the elk value. So if you see it, it's like something to look for that if like the components which add up to make an alchable item are cheaper than the elk price, like it'll swing higher. So it'll be so high in demand that it'll be not worth your time because it's lower. Like the price you pay would be more than the elk price for it. But if like there's seasons where an item dips below the elk price of like for this one, you'd look up steel plate body or something like that, and then like say that's because it's 1200 or whatever. Steel plate bodies usually go for like 950. So like the 5 iron ores plus the 5 coal, because people would be doing blast furnace to primarily inject steel bars into the system. Adding all those up, like if it's like 200 or 300 cheaper, I don't know if it's like you can time it like that, but there are times where you'll be able to get iron ore, like the incremental. So we'll just say like we want to shoot for 750, so divided by 10. So if like we could get iron ore for less than 75, because it takes 5 iron, 5 coal to make a steel bar, it takes 5 steel bars to make a steel plate body. So that you take 5 blah blah blah, each steel plate body, or each steel bar 150 would be a good price for them then, because then that's 5 steel plate bodies, times 5 would be 750, which is a really good price for smithers and elkers to get that stuff, because they're trying to sell off to the GE for like 850 to or 800 to like 900, and then the secondary market would be selling steel plate bodies to Alkers in bulk on whatever. So there's all that arbitrage going on, you know, all that value added into the system. So like the issue with buying plate bodies, like you can do it, like it's not bad to, and I do recommend people do that because it is an easy way for you to like make some decent cash, and like it's very simple, is to buy steel plate bodies. You're just limited by that 125 buy limit. Buying straight the steel plate bodies, unless you're buying them off, you know, in a secondary market, which you're not going to command as high a price, because a lot of the value for this is like how free-to-play flippers would make money, is buying them on a bunch of different accounts, like steel plate bodies at like 800, and then selling it for 850, and then selling it to bulkers for like 925 or something, and then they're selling it in mass because they're going to buy as much as they can afford, their entire cash stacks off of suppliers. So suppliers being in this would be free-to-play traders. So the suppliers would sell to the bulkers, and then they would spend their entire banks on huge swaths of items, and then sell them to the Alkers, who are, you know, people who are AFK training, you know, their Magic to 99, or just alking because that's what they do for primarily for their money, because they're watching Netflix and stuff like that. Like there's this whole ecosystem, and iron ore is a piece of that. So honestly, because of all that reasoning, I think it's probably number one, just based on timing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can find some good timing purchases and make a fuck ton of money, I imagine. So you got the Iron Mace. This is going to be the lowest of C tier because it's easy to buy, really hard to sell maces. I've noticed that are really hard to sell. Bronze Javelin Poison. I think I talked about javelins already. Yes, I did. Nails are going to be S tier. Probably higher, lower than that. Okay, so I think they're really good. They have good buy limits, and they, you know, people are training construction all the time, and they're always buying cheapo nails and stuff like that. I think steel nail is the most common, but iron nails and bronze nails still have pretty decent volume, so they are good. You can get like some good margins there. They're pretty damn good. So iron plate body, I want to put up here, bottom of S tier, just because like the iron plate body, it's going to be bought and sold all the time. Most people in their first training, their smithing levels, like if they're not doing Night Sword to skip iron, they will do plate bodies very often just to speed it up or whatever, and bonners and stuff, whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that are making iron plate bodies, and this is a good one that you can buy and sell on the GE or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or collectors too. Collectors. Plate skirt's got to be there. Scimitar I'm going to put up here because I love iron scimitars. This is going to be the best item. I'm kind of speaking like with my own bias on this item because I collect scimitars like crazy, and I know that like a lot of other people really like collecting scimitars, so I think they're like one of the best items to collect. Just, you know, yeah, they look really nice as green stacks, bro. Anyway, iron pickaxe, same as the hatchet. I know just because of the low buy limit that this is a sought after collector's item. I'm not 100% sure on it though. Yeah, so iron crossbow limbs are probably going to be butt. Honestly, just kind of butt. Just as my instincts there. So then the plate body set, there may be some sort of like, you know, you might be able to get a set and then break it down and sell its components higher, or some sort of like arbitrage there by breaking it down or building the sets and selling it off. But there's not usually a huge amount of volume for this type of shit. Though I will say, when it comes to the iron plate body set, I myself have made new accounts and went, you know, you just want to get to the GE, get your training gear, and then get training. So there is gaps in the market, and I've paid up to like 10, 20K for an iron set before. So I'm just saying, there is that. So, you know, you want to have a sleeper account that just chills with like, not bronze, sorry, bronze usually gets skipped. Iron sets, steel sets, and a mithril set. Pop it on there, make them super high price, log them in. Maybe, you know, you never know. Maybe it's something worth looking at. Medium helms, really easy to collect, really hard to resale. Same thing. This is normal plate legs. Plate legs are going to go up here. You know, it's the melee gear. The plate body, plate legs are in the full helm. Yeah, that's probably good. Right. So the throwing axe, probably not the best. We got normal spear, definitely probably not the best. Like, it's a rarity, and like you can still probably collect it, but it's probably not the best. So iron knives are gonna be really good because it's that entry level training gear. People are buying like knives and darts and shit. And darts require, do they require tourist strap, or is that just to make them? I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head right there. But anyway, so like knives are just quick trainers. You know what I'm saying? They're bought and sold for that reason. So, you know, people who are buying at that, like, you know, that level as well, when you're getting an account online, nobody's worrying about margins or getting a good deal for training their new range peer. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so there's that. We got the Iron Warhammer. Same logic as medium helm, mace, spear, and the hammer. Same with the square shield. Sword is going to be up there in S tier because I really like collecting those as well. Scimitar, sword, dagger are really high collector value. Iron longsword is going to be the same as the rest of these. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think this is like a spigot or something like that, but I don't know. I don't think it's that good. So here's our list. Trying to kind of like speed run these because I'm trying to get like 10 of these done today, and you know what I mean, there's a little bit of nuance. This may feel like a waste of time to a lot of people, but I mean, like, and this may be like a waste of time in the you know, it seems like maybe it's wasting my time as like content wise and stuff like this, but I just really want to like kind of explore as much of the game as possible in terms of flipping and different types of markets, and just like open discussions up, and just like, you know, there's a million different reasons why I want to do this, like work on my delivery, work on my cadence, work on my you know, speech just in general, and just making these types of videos are just going to be good. Plus, you know, it keeps the consistency of the videos coming out, content coming out. I'm less concerned about like the quality and more of like training. This is like training for me, and it's interesting content, blah 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 blah, and you know, it just keeps moving the ball forward, and just like I said to start, also opens the conversation up. If I miss something, please comment down below about it. Get a discussion about this, or don't, or do whatever. Like the video, subscribe, you know, check out my links for my products, and you know, check out my sponsor, all that other good stuff. Thank you guys very much for getting this far. If you did, and you know, more tier lists coming your way. See you later. Well, actually, in the next one I'm gonna record right after I'm done recording this one. So peace out, brothers.